So the KFNW season-long online tournament has finished as of October 31st. The results have been posted. Today I just kind of want to go over them, see what the competition is going to be like for 2024 season. I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to go over what an online tournament is and just how to submit fish, the basics, nothing complicated, too hard. I also want to say I'm not affiliated with the KFNW. I'm a member. I'll be fishing finally next year and just going to go over just recapping and stuff, you know what I mean, going over tournaments. Doing the fun stuff. So what is a KFNW season long? The KFNW season long is an online event, and it usually begins on March 1st and ends on October 31st every year. I'm sure they'll be doing it in 2024. It's been pretty yearly so far. I don't know why they would change it now. And basically it's your best 5 largemouth and your best 5 smallmouth are combined into one total score. The person with the most total inches at the end of the tournament wins. And the KFNW is made up of the WKBF, OKBF, and IKBF, which is Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, Kayak bass fishing leagues. And they all have their own individual season-long online events as well. And there's also a side pot for the largest bass in all these tournaments too. It's usually $10 buy-in. It depends on how many people pay in, obviously, but you usually win most of that money back, the winner of it. So it's going to be a good chunk of change if you're catching fish. Before you sign up for these events, it's important that you go to the KFNW KayakFishingNorthwest.com website and read the rule standards. They're on there. There's a link for them. Read and understand the rules because they do apply to online as well as in-person tournaments. Some rules are obviously different because that's the way it is. KFNW season-long tournaments. You do not have to be a member for that. The minimum length for the fish is 14 inches. You have to use a public launch. That's important. Don't get stuck on a private lake catching fish. You'll get caught. You have to make sure your GPS is set for your phone, for your pictures. Which is just another standard rule. You need that anyway for everywhere you go. All public waters in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho are good as long as they're public and you use a public launch to fish for them. Again, make sure you have your GPS settings on for your phone. That can get confusing sometimes. Not confusing, it can disqualify you if you don't have that stuff prepared for that. And again, the 5 largemouth and 5 smallmouth combined will be counted. 5 of your largest largemouth and 5 of your largest smallmouth will be counted. That's kind of interesting. It's definitely different than any other tournament that fished before. How it works. Again, you fish any public water from March 31st to October 31st. And in this tournament, this online tournament, you can fish all 3 states, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. Any public water. So that's kind of cool. You must use TourneyX, which is an app. If you're new to this, definitely download the TourneyX app. It's going to be the most convenient way to submit fish and get instant results back if they've been denied or deducted or been approved. Definitely get the app. I think that's like a start for sure. And I think, yeah, for all the tournaments, KFNW, WKBF, OKBF, and IKBF all use the TourneyX app. Now a couple points about taking the photo. It's called CPR, which is catch, photo, release. You catch the fish, you take a photo, and then you release it. That's the premise of it. But the photo is important, and it's probably where most of the mistakes are made. So there's 4 points I like to make. The first one is make sure the mouth of the fish is completely closed. If it's open, you're going to lose half an inch or possibly be disqualified. Like that's in the rule standard now. The nose of the fish must be against the fence of the catch board and the tail extended, and your hands cannot be under the gill plate or on the tail. You can't pinch the tail to gain extra inches that way. Those are rules. Those are the basic points. You must use a catch board that's approved from the KFNW as well, and that's listed on the rule book. It's basically just a catch board, the hard plastic one. It's carbonite, I think it's called, and then the aluminum ones or the metal ones. No, they're definitely not aluminum, they're heavy. So then after you take your photo and release the fish, you submit it to the TourneyX app where a tournament director will look over it. They'll approve, deny, subtract inches. They also verify your inches. Like say you caught a 15 inch and you accidentally wrote 14 and a half. They'll mark it up to 15 usually. Yeah, online tournaments are pretty easy to get into. It's definitely a good place to start. Like if you're new to the area, definitely look into the KFNW or WKBF, OKBF, or IKBF. They're all the same. They're just different states, but they really are all the same group. They're all the same group. So this is the TourneyX page where like the results are posted for most events, well all events for the KFNW and WKBF and all them that exist. I say the KFNW, I mean all 3. WKBF, OKBF, IKBF, they're all included. This is just a KFNW tournament, which is a total, not a total, but it's a separate tournament from the rest of them. You still have WKBF as its own season long, IKBF as its own season long. And Oregon has its own season long. It is what it is. But I haven't seen these results yet. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes, like what's going to go down here. But yeah, so when you go to these pages, everything's listed. The rules are listed, like we already mentioned. 14-inch minimum, no other species are allowed. There's links to the schedule, the other schedules, the rules, the liabilities. If you guys sign a liability agreement, it's all there. But I mean, some big fish get caught in these things. Dude, J.R. Rollins, he won it with 205.5 inches. My goodness, 20-inch smallmouth and a 23-inch bass, largemouth. That's crazy, dude. Look how big this thing is. That's the cool thing too. Turning X, you can look at the pictures and see everything. Jeez, man. I would do like what, 7-8 pounds, 9 maybe. I don't know. That's big. Monsters. But you see how his hands over the gill plate. Eye and mouth are not covered. Tail's not covered. Mouth's his thing is closed. It's a pretty good fish. Good picture. Shoot. Yeah, he won that for sure. Wow, by a 1/4 inch, dude, by Jeffrey Linson. 21.5. Dude, look at these, all over 20s. Except for smallmouth. That is wild. 21.25. Man, like, these are just some big fish. The smallest one was 19-inch smallmouth. He didn't even remember. Oh my goodness, dude. All of them over 20 for larvae. So largemouth are probably a lot bigger. Not a lot bigger, but they're more common, I guess, to get over the 20-inch mark than a smallmouth. But man, Jordan Duggar, 22. These are big fish. Man, you get mouths closed up against the fence. Nothing's pinched. Hands aren't under the plate. Photos clear. It's the other thing to be careful of too. Cloudy photos. Like that sun hits that card, your identifier, which is right here. Hits that, man, and you can't see what the numbers are, you're done. They won't count though. They won't disqualify you, but they'll definitely disqualify the fish. Not disqualify the fish, but it won't count. I guess that's the same, right? Disqualify. Dude, these are some big fish caught, dude. Top 5, Jason Carlson. Washington, Idaho, Washington tore it up this year. Another 22-inch, 19.25 smallmouth. These are some big fish. All the way down to 10th, Jim Carey. My bad. 22.75. What are we doing? That's a smallmouth. The gills can be open, mouth closed, but they're not. His hand's not over or under it, so he's fine. Against the fits, tail is not pinched. He's not pinching it actively. And man, you can read his identifier. Those are good fish, man. That is wild. I've never caught a smallmouth that big. I think my biggest is like 18.75. No, I got a 19.25 once. Underneath a dock. That was a crazy catch. Patrick Kelly, Frank. I mean, it's pretty competitive. They're all over the hundreds. I mean, that's a 1/4 inch difference between first and second place. That is wild. That 23-incher really helped him out, man. That's just a huge fish. This is what it looks like when you go to the Turning X page. I haven't seen anything bigger than that 23. Or 22.75. Man, that is giant. He was a couple big fish away from just blowing this thing wide open, dude. Wow. That's huge. And all those people have caught fish all the 26th. How many people signed up for this one? I'll tell you right here, 31 anglers, 459 fish caught. That is crazy, especially for a place not known for its bass fishing. Like, those are some pretty impressive numbers. 205, 201, 198. Like, man, that was really close. Really close. But yeah, for next year, I mean, I'm sure it'll happen again. You should definitely get signed up. If you're new, this is definitely a good place to start. You practice. There's also monthlies, and those challenges change a lot. They're actually different types of challenges, and they're actually challenging. It's kind of fun. I'll get that in like the next video. Just want to kind of go over the results and show you what was available. This kayak stuff, man, it's really taken off. It should just be growing. It's fun. It's less expensive than a boat, and it's fun. Like, everybody's competitive, but they're nice about it. It's good times. Definitely check out the Kayak Fishing Northwest website. Read the rules. It's important. If you have questions about the rules, I would just hit them up on Facebook. There's a lot of knowledgeable people there, and you'll hit the directors. They browse the pages too. They'll definitely answer your questions. Well, that's it for me. I mean, if you're interested in what's going on here, man, I'm planning on following all the tournaments, fishing tournaments. Finally, I'm not affiliated with KFNW by any means. I'm just a member that's going to be fishing finally again this year. I had to take 2 years off. I had to finish school and some other stuff went down, but it's all good. Till next time, subscribe, like, do what you want.